Hey everybody, here to bring you the spiritual messages for the week and the cards. It's going to be a very potent and powerful week. We have a full moon on Thursday, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't been keeping up with the moon schedule. Bad astrologer. But I know that Mars in Sagittarius went into retrograde yesterday, so this means that we are going to things are going to be harder for us to try to pursue. We are going to feel maybe more frustrated. On the bright side, it is going to amp up some of that sexual energy that Mars is so good at bringing, because Venus is about like pleasures and like, you know, being courted, and Mars is about doing the courting and you know, amorous and lustful and pursuit of somebody, which is courting. Four of Wands popped out with that one. Oh, and they all just fell out. So, oh, and the Lovers. I don't really show this deck too much. I love this deck. It's a great one. Tarot of the Old Path. That's a great. Look at those Lovers. And then the Knight of Cups, of course. So, the thing I wanted to talk about, though, kind of in relation to that with, like, Mars and the Moon, which is going to be in Scorpio, the full moon, it's already intense, but, you know, Scorpio just makes it 10 times more intense. It's deep. It's about transformation. It's cutting down to the bone. If you've ever talked to a Scorpio before, you know the sting of the scorpion. You know, and there's 3 levels. There's the scorpion, the gecko, and the eagle. Now, the eagle soars above and can see all of things, and he's very, or she, is very precise and knows how to manage its energy, because it's not just going to dive down and get anything. It's going to wait for the right opportunity. The gecko in between is kind of wishy-washy and doesn't really know what it wants, but what can sink down easily into the scorpion if it feels it needs to acquiesce power. So power and control are all part and trying to gain the upper hand on somebody. This also kind of goes with the Mars retrograde. You know, it's gonna make things a little bit more difficult or harder to kind of want to pursue something if you are actually trying to go for a goal. And wherever Sagittarius falls in your chart, you may want to adjust your sails. And later this month we are going to have a Mercury retrograde, so we're about to go into shadow. So everything that we are talking about, or, you know, things that are in contracts, things that are with your vehicle, maybe your, you know, health regiment, everything is going to go, you know, be revisited. And there's a bug on my cards. It's going to be looked at again. So, I've talked a lot about stuff with different people online, and I've reviewed interactions with people, and we're all trying to gain something out of this world. Now, a lot of people are very selfishly trying to gain things for their own personal comeuppance, and, you know, there's a fine line between trying to gain control and power for your own sake to make something good versus or trying to get something out of somebody else by exploiting other people. Love is really the overall theme of like trying to help other people and for the greater good. So when somebody's intention is out of love, then usually it's going to have a better outcome versus out of fear. And fear being the opposite of love, does tend to wield the sword much easier. People are very opposed to the idea of love because they find that it is perverse when love is not practiced within the self. And we have kind of been taught and urged that we are not good enough, that who we are is not lovable, that what we represent and stand for, all the diversity, every different aspect of everybody's personality should be homogenized into mainstream forward motion. And it's really sad and difficult to deal with, because if you've thought your whole life that you've had to conform to this certain ideal, the idea of actually loving yourself for the unique individual, and that everything about you was made for a reason so that you could contribute to society in some way, is really hard to stomach, because there's nothing out there reflecting it to you. The only thing that really reflects that is when you find people that see you for who you are, and they love you. And they love you regardless of all these walls and things that you've built up in your head of why you're not lovable. So when you see that reflection, at first there is a reaction of hatred, because you are so not used to seeing that reflection of yourself. You recoil in some, in the reaction, because the opposite of love is not hate. It is all in the same vein. It's just the unacknowledged understanding of self and the dark side, the shadow side. So there's parts of yourself that you can hate and then learn to love, because we are all, we are all dark and light. There is darkness within, and there is light. And I think that utilizing both sides will help create a greater whole. But we are also taught that we have to find our other half, that we are not whole. We are whole. The other half of us is either that light side or that dark side, or spots in between. If your perception is that you are a bad person and that you have nothing to offer, you only see the darkness. You only see things that you hate about yourself. But when you acknowledge and understand that these things can be useful, then you start to appreciate and enjoy and even love these parts of yourself. And I think when we can find those parts of ourselves that help contribute to a greater sense of society around us, that is really the greatest expression of love. And I think that finding someone who, and other people, it's not just one person, but there is that one person that does connect on many levels to you, that can help you really understand and mirror a lot of that which that you do not see. But if you find, you know, that group of people that works together in your community, you can create a foundation that will give you the ability to help the greater universe around you. And ultimately, we should be striving for that. We should never be hoping to have a crutch or have someone else be there for our, you know, support when we cannot support ourselves. We have to be able to support us as a person individually before we can have support from other people. Because when you are seeking support from other people and you are unable to fully support yourself, you are asking them to put their life and their purpose and their existence on hold so that you can become a whole person. And that is an ultimately selfish act. Well, it said justice at the bottom of that pile, so there's not going to be that kind of justice. But I'm sure there'll be justice this week. Because, you know, in a full moon, things do come to light. So we have an illumination of things that were previously hidden, previously in the dark, previously closed off. Unknown. And also, there's a lot of this rubber band kind of energy where the oppressed are starting to try to become the oppressors by wielding their sword back at those and lashing out at people who they think have wronged them, when it's really not the people that are wronging them, it's the people that have also been oppressed by the system. So many cards. I think I'm going to skip the soulmate cards just for time. We're already at 12 minutes and views are dwindling, and I'm just trying some different things. Okay, well this one popped out. Alright. Not my favorite, but Spirit. Oh, okay. Alrighty. So, at the beginning of the week, we have the Lovers card upright, we have the Ace of Cups upright, and we have the King of Swords upright. So, it looks like there is going to be some kind of contract or agreement made that is really going to be very beneficial. A new emotional beginning with somebody who is very direct about how they are feeling. Someone who is at the top of their game and has a lot of control over their emotional state. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it could be a new creative project as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be love. But we do have the Lovers card here. And then the Ace of Cups upright. So it seems like at the beginning of the week we're going to start off with some, you know, some new offering of kindness, of creativity, of aspirational dreams, and it's going to be pretty solidly moving forward with the King of Swords, with contracts and legal bindings. And it's going to be something that's very compatible and complementary to, you know, it's the light and the dark. It's the two together. Maybe one is good at one part of it, and you know, one is good at the other part, and together they create a very harmonious, compatible, you know, direction for this project or this relationship. So for the middle of the week, we have the Emperor reversed. We have, oh my god, we have the double Emperor reversed. Again, you saw me shuffle each deck. So yeah, so we have the Emperor reversed and we have the Emperor reversed, which, you know, I'm not surprised, because having that full moon is probably going to turn us very emotional, and it's going to take us into an emotional depth that's going to kind of leave us not being able to look over the you know, the kingdom of that we have created for our life. I mean, the Emperor, he watches over everything in his life with no emotion. He allows himself to see everything in a very logical manner, so he can see what all needs to be done, all needs to be completed, what needs to go where, who needs to be told what. And we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed as well. So it seems as if we start off the week with a really great commitment, but we get sidetracked from this full moon when something comes to light that we may not have seen, we may not have known before, or it had been subconsciously hidden, and now it is being illuminated. So it is going to be hard for us to try and build something or lay the foundation, or we may be thrown off track of the foundation that we are trying to build in our existence. At the end of the week, we have the Magician reversed, we have the Four of Swords, and we have the Five of Swords reversed. So that's good. So perhaps there was some kind of argument or a battle or some kind of conflict that was happening in the middle of the week, when, you know, we were very highly emotional and not seeing past that part of ourselves where we had to look at the whole picture, and we were focused in on one small part of it, and we had to, you know, either we lost or we had to walk away, or somebody was the victor, because with the Five of Swords, it's usually someone wins and somebody loses, and it's never really a draw because it's 5. It's an odd number. But it could also be, you know, just you know, losing just something. Something is, you know, it's not going to go the way that you want it to. It just didn't work out. You know, it could also be an apology, or somebody coming back and rethinking something that they might previously have, you know, met with an aggression with. Because we have the Four of Swords, which is all about rest and healing, and it's upright, so it's, you know, you're coming back from the battle and you're reviewing something that has possibly been a conflict in your life. And since the Five of Swords is reversed, maybe it's something that you just decide that after you've, you know, thought it over, you're going to just walk away from, because it's not worth fighting. Because some things are really not worth fighting. Sometimes you have to pick your battles. Sometimes somebody is going to come at you with some anger that is, you know, seems justified in their, you know, mind, but is not. And you can choose to engage, or you can choose to walk away. And really, you are a winner if you don't engage and it doesn't take up your existence in your time in a stressful and negative way. So the overall energies of the week, we have I forgot to mention the Magician. So I suppose the Magician could just be somebody who's kind of trying to either reverse, could be you don't know how to move forward, you don't know how to like be able to create something that you're trying to create, you're confused, so you have to go back and meditate. Or it could be somebody who is trying to trick you or confuse you into moving forward and fighting, or as you have fought with, and they have been confusing you or tricking you or lying to you, and you're thinking about it and saying, you know what, I don't have to deal with this anymore. I can just walk away. I don't have to engage with this person because they're just going to continue to lie and cheat me, and I don't wish to have this energy in my existence. And therefore I do win, even though they may have bested me in other ways. Okay, overall energy of the week. We have the Queen of Wands reversed, and we have the King of Cups reversed together. So this could be, a relationship between these two people, or just these two energies embodied in you. And, with the full moon in reverse in Scorpio, this is the full moon in full moon. This could definitely represent that energy. And then with this card, this could represent Mars. So this could be, the two energies of these, where you feel like you have to work a lot harder at something, and you can lose your, your understanding of, the bigger picture with this Emperor in reversed, because you're trying so hard and it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, or you don't really kind of know exactly what's worth it. Or it could just be these two people in existence that you're trying to work with, or you are one of these, you could be the King of Cups reversed or the Queen of Wands reversed. You know, both very passionate, very, very passionate people. And then we have the Universe reversed. So something is trying to end. There is an ending that is needed to happen. There is, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed over here. And she is like somebody who's just not, she doesn't want to do any work. She is kind of, unfocused a little bit. She's not trying to sit on her throne and be in charge and rule, but she is, procrastinating and trying and almost letting the universe decide for her what needs to happen. But it's really important. I think it's very interesting that we have these three cards. It's very important that you take a stance and a decision in your life to move it forward in any way possible, even if it is walking away, even if it is deciding to disengage. But it's important to disengage in a proper manner where you're not just still sort of there, but you are actually actively saying, I am done with all of this. I am no longer going to be in this situation, if that is what's needed. Because sometimes with this the Scorpios, they get even madder, or they get more upset when you don't engage with them, but then they'll come at you with their stinger. So what you have to do is you have to pull back, but you also have to cut them off at their source. You have to not allow to feed into their emotional reaction. And with this Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands can make a big, to do about things. stomp her feet, but normally she's actually the one that walks away before anyone else, because the Queen of Wands is actually an interesting energy that nobody seems to be able to pin down, because she's ever changing, especially the Sagittarian energy. I'm not going to fully go into describing the Sagittarian energy in this video. I might make a video, but I prefer to leave it as this is, you know, she might throw a wand at you, but then she'll probably just walk out of your life and you'll never see this person again. Or they'll say something snide and, you know, make you look like a complete tool or asshole and then walk away. That not needing to have happened, but they feel just in that situation because, you know, being reversed, there's some energy that's blocked. And instead of walking away in wisdom, they'll walk away trying to win the situation. But, you know, all these energies can be turned. So having, you know, a clear communication, a clear, honest conversation with somebody who's willing to talk is important. As important as realizing when somebody is unable to have honest, clear communication. And that is when you make your point clear and then you walk away. Because if you cannot deal with somebody who is not willing to be honest and clear. Oh boy. Okay, I'm back again. So, we have the overall energy for the love cards is the Seven of Arrows, or Seven of Swords, which is about being pulled back. Your thoughts are, you know, you're being distracted, or you're being, you know, there's a rumination, there's, you know, you move forward, but then you kind of get pulled back again by some situation or some mental processes that you are thinking of. So it's something that pulls you back. It can also be, you know, the cheater card, so somebody's being dishonest. Somebody is not being forthright in what they are saying. They're, you know, she's taking those swords, and she is, you know, she left a few, but she, you know, the person in the back is asleep, and he does not see her walk away with those swords. It's in reverse, so I think that something that has been maybe unclear or some dishonesty will be coming to light. And Scorpio, the full moon, usually has a good ability for that, because they are the truth seekers besides Sagittarius. People are looking for the answers that have been hidden, and Scorpio is full of secrets, and so they want to know everyone else's secrets, and they want to psychoanalyze everybody, along with those Virgos, which could be this gal right there. So then we have the Four of Coins reversed, which is good, which means we're kind of letting go of certain things that have held us, you know, what we've been holding on to. The Four of Coins is kind of a hoarder card. It's kind of like this, well, I have only this to hold on to, and I'm not going to get any more, so you know, I can't spend any money, or I can't go and I can't feel free in my life because I feel like I have to guard my money, or guard my possessions, or guard whatever small thing I have in this life. And that really hinders us from going forward and being free to feel like the flow will come in, which is great, because now that we're letting go, the flow is coming in. We will have, you know, if we let go of something that we thought we had to cling to, it doesn't allow other things to come in. But now that we let go, it's allowing the wheel to turn and bring in, you know, great abundance and great joy and wonderful things in our life, which will be in because we have the Six of Coins upright. So we're letting go of the little thing that we thought we had to hold on to, and now the wheel can turn and it's bringing even more abundance. So it's actually a really good thing that everything will be coming to light. And our oracle card is pretty much perfect for this, because apprehension, moving out into the world with doubt and fear. So this kind of echoes the card of the Four of Coins, which, is when you're hoarding these cards and you feel like you are not going to get any more money, or any different love is going to come into your life. It blocks the flow of somebody actually being able to come into your life that would be loving and kind and generous, because you don't believe that they would. You don't believe that it's coming, and most people aren't going to go pursue somebody who isn't willing or waiting for their, or receptive for their love. You see somebody in a negative space, most people aren't going to go up and be like, hey, what's wrong? Can I love you? Most people are just going to be like, I don't know what's wrong with that person, and walk away. So there's some special people, but those are also people who do feed off of negativity, and they see that person as a vulnerable individual who they could use and take control of. Signs from the universe. It's time to get going. There's nothing to fear. Take the first step. Just do it. And you will find that all will work out for you. The longer you procrastinate, the harder it will be. It's understandable that you feel unsure of yourself. The first step is sometimes the hardest. You have much to offer, and you will realize this as you move out into the world. Be brave. Even if you initially make mistakes, you will be well received. Treat every day as a learning experience. As your confidence increases, so too will your self-esteem and success. You are a sincere and beautiful person. Do not doubt yourself. I surrender my fear and replace it with love. I surrender my doubt and replace it with confidence. I see myself moving out into the world with ease. I give thanks for all that I learn and experience. Each new day is full of possibility. And I think that pretty much sums it up. So allow things to come to light, allow things to move forward, and allow yourself the confidence and the understanding that you can do wonderful things and have wonderful things happen in your life, and it doesn't have to be the same thing just because you didn't believe it before. When you start to believe, it will come. It will happen for you. The opposite of love is fear. And when you fear, love cannot come in. And with that, I leave you. So have a great week.